Hello everyone, this is Ross from retrodreambeam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Tuesday. Well, we're doing it packing super late at night because I'm going to go source some stuff, and I'll probably do a video of the stuff, like the haul video for that tomorrow, maybe, if I have time to like edit and get the video out. But the first thing right here, still sales are still pretty good for January. That is how we historically are for our shop. But yeah, it's still been really good. We have this Star Force. This is going to be an RPG. This is based off of like a Star Trek type of sci-fi RPG. This is going to be a map. It actually folds out on both ends. I'm just going to keep it nice right now. These are little hexes. This ended up going for $13 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. This is a repeat buyer. All right, next up, this is a super good sale. This is going to be 50 Memoir 44 tokens from a certain expansion. This was the campaign book expansion. It was just like a Memoir 44 is going to be this game where you play a campaign and you're playing like World War II battles, and you have a board out there in different scenarios, and there's going to be 3 sections to the board: left, middle, and then the right. And then you'll have cards where you get to play a card and it lets you know what troops on what side you get to command it, and you roll some like basic dice. And then there's also like terrain features and scenario goals. A lot of expansions once you play the base game. But yeah, this happened to just be bits and pieces from a particular expensive expansion. I'm not too sure why. Maybe there's just less of it. Maybe it was like a promotional expansion. But yeah, 50 pieces from this went for $83.99 for a partial expansion. I remember getting a bunch of Memoir 44 stuff, and I just spent like a day or two organizing all of it. Definitely worth it now. But I got to sell a bunch of that stuff, so it's super cool. All right, next up is going to be this Golo golf dice game right here. This is just going to be a golf dice game right here. So it's kind of going to be like a Yahtzee type. They're called roll and writes, where you roll a bunch of dice and you have a certain number of re-rolls, and then you'll have like a sheet of paper to keep track of your points. This is, you're going through like golf courses. The roll and write also turned into like flip and writes. There's a lot of flip and writes, like Cartographers, Welcome to Your Perfect Home. Those are just the 2 I can think of right now. But yeah, this ended up going for $7. People like roll and writes. They also like flip and writes. It's the people that like Yahtzee, and then they realize that there's more modern versions of Yahtzee, or at least different variations and different themes. I like the genre as well. All right, move along. We have this little vintage pewter figure. It's going to be like a Viking, armored Viking with like a spear. Where is he? He's just like a little individual person. I put him somewhere nearby. Oops, I'm dropping the tokens there, but they're cardboard. They should be fine. All right, I guess I can't. Oh, here he is. He is right there in front of me. The gray was matching with the gray of the couch. But yeah, one of these pewter miniatures, someone can use it for RPG. They can use it to paint it up or just collect it if they like Viking stuff. It's a pretty good quality one. This ended up going for $8 for this individual figure. All right, moving on, we have this moose holiday hanging like figurine, maybe like an ornament. This had to be re-glued at some point, so we re-glued it. I mentioned in the listing where it was re-glued. It's in the description. I haven't seen this in a long time. This was an older listing. It's not an ornament. It's just like the legs hang, and you put it on like a, you know, a desk or a shelf or something that legs hang over. Just a little fun holiday decoration. This ended up going for $6.99. Also has like a Halloween outfit, like a refund. Moving along, we have a lot of these 9 vintage plastic Junior Police Illinois like badges, little costume badges. These aren't real. We got these alongside all of the die-cast police cars, just a bunch of different police stuff themed. $17.49. Someone's going to use this probably for like some costumes or something like that, or some kind of role playing. All right, next up is going to be a bunch of tokens for Warhammer Underworlds. These were going to be Beastgrave ones. These are going to be, I forgot what the token was called, like what type of token it is, but I already put them in a baggie here. They're red, they're acrylic, so they're not like the typical cardboard ones. So people like to accessorize their board games or miniature games. They like to upgrade their components. These ones are like official ones. It just looks nicer and feels tactically better, like tactile, when you're playing the game with better than cardboard tokens. $10 for those. It's 15 of them. Move along. Super old listing. I don't remember this. I used to get a bunch of mugs. Betty Boop right here. People like the cartoon character. I'm not like a big fan, but I know a lot of people like it. Pretty good mug here. This ended up going for $7. When it sold, I was like, wow, that must have been like a long time ago when I was in my like phase where I was picking up a bunch of mugs. I would get them for cheap, like quarters, 50 cents, or $1. I wouldn't spend more on them. I would try to pick out, you know, the ones that people like characters, or just ones that looked unique to me. or ones that like I looked them up and they were selling well. All right, moving along, we have this is going to be an incomplete locomotive, like steam engine, almost like a shell, and then there's also like a wheel on it. I don't think this is. I got a bunch of these bits and pieces, or Anetta did. She got some like auction lot where it's a bunch of train stuff. And we also had like some bigger ones that sold really for a lot of money, like 80 to $100, maybe last Christmas, not like 2025, 2024, I think, or maybe 2023. We sold a couple of those, and then I listed all these like shells and people. There was someone who bought some incomplete part from us, and then they sent us a picture after they got it, which was wholesome, and then they said that they fixed it up. So people like to get train stuff. $9, even if it's like parts. All right, moving along, we have Nations at War. This is going to be one of those magazine, or it might not be one of those magazine games. Well, it might be. It's either inserts for a magazine, like a war game magazine, or it's just part of a board game. But yeah, you have some cards here, and then on the back, you can't really see it, but this is going to be a cardboard shit token counter where you pop those out, like you pop out the tokens, and it says up there that they're replacement pieces for that particular game, the Nations at War. $29.39. There were some other tokens I had sold from a magazine, and then someone gave feedback. I occasionally look at the feedback. I can't look at all of them, but I'll occasionally sit there when I'm drinking my coffee, and I'll just read through some to see like what people are happy with or why they're happy. And then someone had mentioned some tokens. I saw them. They were like, "This is really hard to find, so thank you for listing them as like parts." So it feels good when you get good feedback like that. All right. Moving along, World of Warcraft trading card game, super fun game, not around anymore, but they have a bunch of sets. These were like starter decks. This is an Orc starter deck. I got this during an auction. I listed this during one of my first lives that I ever did on the channel, all the World of Warcraft trading card game stuff. So it's still getting sales. Spent 440 for the whole lot, but it was fun listing and going through it, and I was just adding up like how much money we were making from it. So I'm gonna see when the rest of the stuff sells, where it lands. But this ended up going $20.99. It's a starter deck, so you can pull that out and start playing the game. You pick a hero which has like abilities. You'll have Horde or Alliance, and then you'll also get a class and a race, and then you get to build up your deck, and then you'll have like equipment that you can put on your character, and you have allies. Then you have lands or quests, which are the things that you use to summon everything and play the game. Take down the person's other character down to 0, you win the game. All right. Moving along, we have Lionel Train Catalog. Got a bunch of these. I think it was like an estate sale, just like 4 or 5 boxes of these. I would lot them up by their year. But this one I only had like some of them were individual because I didn't have enough to make a lot. So this is just a 2002 catalog. People like to look through all the train stuff. These weren't as fast as I thought they would be, like for selling, but we did sell a bunch of them, and we still have a lot that it's all listed. $7 for that one. All right. Moving along, we have a Panzer 3 OSF E right here. This is going to be 1 out of 144 scale, just a tank miniature. People like the tank ones. They like the ships, the fighters, submarines, boats, anything that's like the infantry. I found a bunch of infantry and sell the infantry, but sometimes a lot of people like the actual vehicles better, and I think it's harder for them to find the right scale or the right paint job. This is by a company called New Toys Millennium, so I've gotten their stuff before. It's never like super crazy, but for one of these figures, $7.35. All right, move along. We have an incomplete board game. I forgot. I listed this one recently too. One of my favorite board games. This is an expansion though. This is Mage Knight, the board game, not the miniatures, which is a collectible game, which is different. This is by Vlad Shvatel. He's one of my favorite board game designers. I have the original Mage Knight board game, and then I have this is the Lost Legion, and then there's the Krang expansion as well. And I have the Ultimate Edition, and then I don't know if it's out yet, but there is another Mage Knight expansion coming out, which I can't wait to play. It's one of the first board games I played as a solo game. It's really in-depth strategy game where you're trying to like usually take over a castle. I mean, there's other ways to play the game, but it's a very tight game where you have only so many cards, so many turns to get the objective done. You can increase the difficulty. You can add modular expansions, which have more monsters and stuff. Really just like a unique game. And this game is an older one, so this is an incomplete expansion. I forgot exactly what was missing, but because I owned the complete one, when I was going through what was incomplete, I'm like, oh, that's not a big deal. I think it's some of the mana crystals, which you can just sub in with something else, or if you're playing solo, you won't use them all anyways. And then I think maybe it was missing some, like maybe the miniature or something like that. But yeah, this ended up going for $12. If it was complete, it would sell for a little bit more. But yeah, super fun game. I know I rambled about it, but I really love that game. I was thinking about playing the base game again sometime soon. Well, I also have the expansions mixed in, so in preparation for the new expansion coming out. Moving along, we have these Leaf board game Squirrel Meeples right here. Someone could get these. They don't have to be a replacement for the board game, but they are good quality Squirrel Meeples. So they're little cute ones. You can use this for like a craft or a project or a role-playing game or replacement for the board game. $8.40 for these 6 squirrel player-colored meeples. All right, moving along, we have this right here. I don't know why this is. I don't know if the company is MHAR, but I had down that these are World War One British artillery figures, just little miniature ones. They're 1/72 scale, which is like the smaller, like ½ inch or so, maybe a little bit bigger. But yeah, I rarely get World War One stuff, so I think people search it out. There's a lot of World War Two stuff, but not as much World War One stuff, or at least that I find. So I get excited when I get to list it. But these only went for $8, but for a small baggie of some miniatures, that's good for me. All right, last up for the day is going to be this. This is the complete, how do you say this one? Brigadier board game. There's also a bunch of other words for the title. The title is just like a long title. This is going to be like one of those military, like naval games. I think it's like a naval game or something like that. But it's been a bit since I listed this. This is by Adventure Games Company. Don't recognize it too much. It's from 1982. But yeah, I'm gonna have to double check that this is complete. This is going international, and the person wanted, they sent an offer, and they wanted to make sure that was complete because the game has the phrase "the complete" in the title. So I'm gonna double check before we ship it out. We have eBay international shipping, and there is returns on that, but I want them to get the complete product, and I couldn't tell from my description if I had it as parts or not. So that's an older listing. Which one? It's just the title one. I know it's just the title. I know it's just the title. It looks complete when I looked at my pictures, but I want to officially count like all the pieces. There's a lot of pieces. All right. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone's having a good one. You got it. You got it. I thought you were gonna hit